Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to I Allegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because I got Jack Hanney, the CEO of Patriot Gold, with us today. And we're going to talk about economic uncertainty in the economy and so many other things to cover right now. So, Jack,
Geopolitical unrest,
absolutely.
interest rates. So thank you for having
Everything.
me.
No,
There's a lot to cover.
I am thrilled to be here right now. Let's talk about, since you're the CEO of a gold company, let's talk about, you know, uh, in almost, 2 years and 10 months that I've been having you as a sponsor on my channel, we've seen gold go from $1,800 an ounce. And we were going to see 2,000, then 2,500, 3,000. We actually saw 3,500 at one point. And I think it's exciting because now Bank of America just came out and gave a $4,000 projection for gold. And how do you feel about that?
Well, we were forecasting in December of 22 that once gold surpassed 2,000, there was no looking back. And then we were forecasting again in December of 2024 that once gold surpassed 3,000, there was no looking back. It all really started during the Biden administration when they imposed sanctions on Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And when they imposed those sanctions on Russia, when they kicked them out of the SWIFT banking system, when they seized oligarchs' assets, what happened was central banks around the world, especially Russia, Poland, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and China, started stockpiling gold. Now, gold is up 80% in the last 28 months. It's absolutely exploded. And really, what they're saying is it's just getting started. It's not only Bank of America, it's Bank of America, Bloomberg, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs are all forecasting $4,000 an ounce gold.
Now, here's the cool thing is we've seen projections in the last week of space numbers, absolutely crazy, where we could see gold hit $6,000 an ounce and even $7,000 an ounce. And those are numbers I've never seen before. So,
nor had I. Technical charts now are pointing to $7,000 an ounce gold in the next 3 to 5 years. What they're saying right now with the US dollar, because keep in mind, the US dollar is the worst performing asset class of 2025.
absolutely.
It's down 10% right now. They say it's going to be down another 10%, another 10%. And what they're saying now is that with the US dollar and the Sell America trade, the Sell America trade right now is what's happening. And because of the geopolitical unrest, because of the economic uncertainty, because of our $36+ trillion national debt, with interest rates, I'm shocked that Jerome Powell did not cut interest rates yesterday.
Week, yeah,
by a quarter basis point, by something. I mean, when you look at the inflation numbers, when you look at the employment numbers, it definitely warranted an interest rate cut of at least a quarter basis point, if not a half a basis point.
How about this? We talked about real estate for sale. Las Vegas has, for the first time, over $3 billion worth of residential houses for sale right now.
Well, Florida too.
Florida's a complete mess.
A lot of these states where during COVID, individuals flocked to because of the lesser restrictions, what's happened now is there's all this inventory. And with the home prices having gone up and interest rates now being near a 20-year high, home buyers aren't buying. And what we're finding now is the housing sales is at a 5-year low.
Oh, absolutely.
5-year.
People, the big thing with agents that we've talked a lot in the channel is that, just buy the house now, you can refinance later. But you got to have a good job, you got to have everything going in your life, and life gets in the way. Things happen, businesses close, and people get laid off, and different things happen that affect you being able to refi. And I had a real estate broker on a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about that exact thing, that people don't believe that myth. You got to have, you got to
marry the house, date the rate.
Yeah, exactly.
How well did that work out for everyone in 08?
Yeah.
It's realtors. The reality is, you're about to make the single largest investment in purchase. And by the way, did you hear about the Gallup poll?
No.
So there was a new Gallup poll that came out where gold surpassed equities as the number 2 preferred long-term asset class, second to only real estate. So real estate's number 1. And back in 2011, by the way, gold was number 1. Gold was actually number 1, 2011, 2012. That was the Obama administration. But now gold has surpassed equities to being the number 2 preferred long-term. And that's what's happened now is retail investors have just gotten into gold at 3,400.
Oh,
but it's been all central bank gold demand that has fueled gold to go from $1,600 to $3,500 an ounce. It's been central bank demand.
We have a stock trader that I'm going to connect you guys, Bob Kudla. Again, we're going to do a show one day with the three of us. And Bob's a great guy because Bob says metals, there's no limit to metals right now.
And I like that you said metals because unbeknownst to most people, do you know what the best performing asset class is?
Probably silver right now.
Platinum.
Platinum.
It's up 44% on the year. So silver's up 29%, gold's up 23%, platinum's up 44% on the year. John LaForge of Wells Fargo said 3 years ago, we are in a commodities super cycle with at least 6 to 9 years left, if not more. And that's what we're in right now. And gold, believe it or not, we're going to be discussing this in December about once gold surpasses 4,000, there's no looking back. We did this the previous year, we did it the year before that.
Every year.
2,000, 3,000, and now we're on our way to 4.
Now, think about this. If you could buy an asset that could double in price, I mean, that's amazing when you think about that. Just the potential there with your retirement, with your future, it's unbelievable.
But how about silver?
Demand, silver is on fire. And
so it's closed above 36. There's what a lot of people don't know is there is a ton of support now at 35. So once it closed above 35 and it held above 35, that's now the floor. So what they're saying for silver is $40 this summer, $50 by September, then forecasts are $70, $90 an ounce. Silver's at $36 an ounce right now.
It's
36.
Crazy. One thing that you brought up, which is such an amazing point, and I saw it on one of your video clips where you were talking about how these EV car companies have a real problem on their hands, and they may have to. It's because of the shortage of silver every year with what they're producing right now, not any new purchases, just right now. And then you add the industrial usage, the medical usage,
solar panels,
everything else. Right now, there is not enough silver mined right now. These car companies are going to have to buy their own silver mine. And if they do that, the number is crazy. It could be $150 an ounce, you said.
According to Keith Neumeyer, the CEO of First Majestic Silver. Well, we're running into 217 million ounce supply deficits every year for the past 3 years. And the amount of silver in the new technology of solar panels is 5 times greater than previous solar panels. Now, Elon Musk, as we know, has now departed from Doge. He's focusing back on Tesla. And Keith Neumeyer had stated that if automakers like Tesla, like Elon Musk, were to purchase a silver mine, which is really somewhat necessary.
Well, when you think about, robo-taxi demand right now is absolutely crazy. This is going to happen, whether we like it or not. And I don't know if I would get in one of those things right now.
It's going to New York City now. Just got approved. So New York, when you're already in Los Angeles, you're approved in San Francisco. It's going to New York City. So next is Chicago. And before you know it,
Dallas, all these places I've heard about. Yeah, that's great. So, but
I've never ridden one.
Oh, neither have I. I had a girlfriend that was in one.
Yeah.
And she said it was kind of scary because they were going to a restaurant. It was on a one-way street, and it kept circling the neighborhood. They finally had to jump out of the car.
No way.
Yeah, and they filmed it. She sent me the video.
No way. I've never been in one. I see them on the road, and I'm just amazed. But hey, look, my daughter, it's her 18th birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Juneteenth, her 18th birthday. Now, she and her friend group, they don't have their licenses. They didn't get their licenses like we did on our 16th birthdays. None of them have their licenses because they've grown up with Uber. And the reality is, say, 5 years from now, we're just going to have these robo-taxis just, all over the streets of every major metropolitan area around the country.
Professionals. When I was in the biotech space, I met professionals that didn't own cars. And I'm like, how do you do that in Southern California? And they had deals with Uber back then, 5 years ago. So it was crazy.
According to an economist, and I believe he's the gentleman who's on Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, Kevin O'Leary.
He has said that it's more economical not to own a car. When you look at not only the cost of the car, but insuring the car, registering the car, the maintenance on the car, that it's more economical to not even own an automobile, which is, I mean, that's crazy.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. So, we're everything. When you look at everything when it comes to metals and stuff, I have been such a.
And by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt. That's a great segue into, a lot of people are saying silver is the next AI play, because silver is the most powerful conductor of electricity in the world. Hands down, there's no more powerful conductor of electricity than silver. And they're saying, hey, the Magnificent Seven, as we saw at the beginning of the year, was the Maleficent Seven. And really, if you look at the meteoric rise of, say, NVIDIA and some of these other companies, the investment into AI, a company now, Nebius, which focuses on, really the infrastructure around data centers. That stock is doing very well, as is ASML. But it's all about, they're saying silver is the next AI play.
Well, what's funny is people, I've had a lot of professionals that are going to have their own internal AI, and one thing that's a big problem is the data and the expense of the electricity and everything that's involved. And yeah, you can go solar, yeah, you can try to pay for it, but silver's going to be a big play. I love silver just because when you do the math on it, and it's funny, I did a report in high school about how silver was going to go up someday and it was just going to be used everywhere. And that report that I did, I'd love to find that term paper, has totally come true, because there's just not enough.
It's the only product, the only commodity in the entire world, the only product and only commodity in the entire world that was more expensive in 1980, 45 years ago. 45 years ago, silver was $50 an ounce.
Yeah, that's when I wrote the report, actually. So it's funny.
And now it's $36 an ounce. Adjusted for inflation, $50 an ounce in 1980 is $125 to $150 an ounce, which is what forecasts are for silver. And your viewers have an opportunity. So many of your viewers, as we also work with Dick Morris, so many viewers felt, for the past several years, they've been talking about gold at 1,600, then 1,800, 2,000. We missed the boat on gold. We missed it. Well, you didn't miss the boat on gold, but you certainly, the boat has not even left the dock on silver.
Close.
Has not even left the dock. So the opportunity in silver right now is astounding.
Yeah. I saw one of your commercials where you had the new tagline, Patriot Gold and Silver. So they sell all types of metals, guys. And don't forget to call them at 888-330-1431. Contact Patriot Gold. The best thing is they will answer all your questions, the best customer service. And 9 years in a row with Consumer Affairs, over 2,500 reviews, over 10,000 transactions. I mean, you guys can't go wrong with a company
Consumer
like this.
Affairs top rated.
Yeah, top rated.
Over 10,000 clients. A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. Not a single complaint. That's one of the important things. When you see all these other companies advertise, there's a few things. One thing I do want to mention, there's all these companies advertising now free gold and free silver. $15,000 in free gold, $15,000 in free silver. I just want your viewers to know that there's no such thing as free gold and free silver. That these other companies are charging outrageous premiums on the assets that they incorporate within your IRA to compensate for that $15,000 in free gold. There's no such thing as free gold or free silver. So I just wanted to.
So there's no BOGO gold or BOGO.
It's a PSA for your viewers. It's a PSA that please do not paint red flags white. And also, we have the no fee for life IRA, where we pay the registered and insured shipping on the metals, and we pay for the dedicated, secured, and insured storage of the metals, and you have no fees for the lifetime of your IRA on qualifying rollovers. But see, we don't try to say that we're going to be giving free gold or so. We don't want to insult American patriots' intelligence with this idea of free gold and silver. There's no free gold and silver, especially gold's at 3,400, silver's at 36. There's no free gold or silver.
Well, let's look at, central banks. Jerome Powell, again, I don't understand what a quarter of a point would have done. I think it would have just spurred everything, kept things going, but that's me. I just think that sometimes they do things. He does things just despite, you know,
Well,
the administration and things like that.
they were late with raising rates, right?
Yes.
And we know that. And then they had 11 consecutive rate cuts going from 0% to 5.5%. So they were late to raising rates. And now what's happened, why is it they cut rates a half a basis point right before the election?
Yeah,
but not now when, unemployment and the employment looks good, when inflation numbers are down at 2.8.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw the latest, consumer price index numbers. Everything warrants a rate cut. Meanwhile, they didn't. And now they're trying to blame Trump and the tariffs and tariff uncertainty as to why they're not cutting rates.
I hate the teases. We're going to have half a point rate cut between now and the end of the year. We'll do it now. Just do it today.
Do it.
And get it done.
Well, because like we said before, home buying is at a 5-year low. But there was something else. Oh, you brought up central banks. Not many people are aware of this. But central bank gold demand the first quarter of 2025, 25% more than any other quarter over the past 5 years. So over the past 5 years, we've had record central bank gold demand over the past 5 years. First quarter of this year, because Trump took office and all the countries took notice, they said, now that Trump's in office, President Trump's in office, 25% gold,
demand is
increase in the central bank gold purchases.
Globally, too, you look at China. China has stepped up their gold purchases, which are absolutely crazy. And you look at Germany. You look at all these other countries that have done that.
Turkey,
Poland, Turkey. It just something's up with it. But again, Bob Kudla, I'm going to have him with you. But he just says, gold could. He's predicted much higher numbers for gold, and he said silver could easily do $250 an ounce at one point.
$250.
So,
see, what do central banks know that you don't know, right? Because they're the ones responsible for printing money. They can print as much money as they want. So why is it that they're stockpiling gold? And we mentioned earlier about retail investment demand. Well, that retail investment demand is absolutely skyrocketed when it has literally changed the landscape of Costco's earnings.
Yeah.
Now, Costco, demand was so great, they're doing $100 million a month. That they had to
in gold sales, guys, those individual ounces of gold that you could buy,
1 ounce gold bars
in those little packets.
So now they've had to limit it to 2 gold bars per customer every 24 hours. They sell out immediately. Previously, it used to be 5 gold bars every 24 hours. Now it's 2 gold bars. They're also getting into silver and getting into platinum. So what does that tell you when the largest, retailer in the country is selling out of gold bars?
Well, guys, it's something to look at. And again, people say, oh, it's too high. It's not too high. This is the beginning of it. And it's exciting because with all the global uncertainty, we have to look at Israel. You've got to look at Iran. You have to look at everything that's happening around the world. We don't know who's going to get involved in this, if it's going to end soon or not. But even with that, Bank of America, I think his name is it Widmer or Vidmer? Widmer was talking about how, you're going to see with the economic uncertainty globally, you're going to see it hit home here, and it's going to affect metals in one way and make it all go up. So,
well, the current rise in gold prices pales in comparison to the rise in gold prices in the 70s, from 1970 to 1980. Pales in comparison. Meanwhile, the similarities are, they're astounding. You have the crises in the Middle East, right? You had that as well in the 70s with the Iran hostage crisis. And now, there's this real possibility of going to war with Iran over the weekend. A very real possibility.
Which is wild to think about. But you want to have,
you have the interest rates. You also have, coming on the heels of the Biden administration and the amount of money that they spent, the amount of money that they printed. You have persistent inflation with grocery store prices, travel. So and some say that we're going into a stagflationary environment.
Yes.
So if you're saying to yourself, well, gold prices are too high, look at what gold did from 1970 to 1980, and that's exactly where we are now. We're just, We're just 50 years later.
Yeah.
And these things happen in cycles.
Oh, so let's see what else. The ultimate safe haven investment. We've always talked about that, and gold. Gold has been money since the dawn of time. It really has, and I think that people need to look at that. And you can look at cryptos, you can look at that, but I just think that when you see all these companies and these banks getting into crypto, billionaires, excuse me, into gold and staying away from crypto, it's kind of fascinating how much money is being put into gold right now.
Well, when you look at all these meme coins and all these other cryptocurrencies, I mean, really, it's no different than walking onto a casino floor in Vegas and spinning that wheel. I mean, first off, you have Bitcoin at $105,000 a piece, and then all these other smaller crypto coins that people are thinking that they're going to make money on. I mean, how did that work out for those that invested in the Trump meme coin after the inauguration?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the thing with crypto. Not only that, did you hear about, it was about 2 or 3 months ago, the CEO of Coinbase came out, and the customer service team out of India was actually responsible for hacking some of the Coinbase accounts.
It was terrible because
the customer service team.
Yeah, their own team. It's guys.
Their own team was hacking into your accounts, and then your crypto's gone.
Right, and I've asked these guys, oh, you put it in a safe wallet, and it's like it's so much shenanigans for this that look at metals, guys. You have to look at protecting yourself. Moody's downgrade. Let's talk about that too.
I mean, look, here we are now. I believe it was 12 years after the Standard & Poor's downgrade. It's the last of the credit rating agencies. I mean, here's what people need to know. It's not just another credit rating. Think of this. You have credit card debt, $12,000. Your credit score is 640. All of a sudden, your credit score falls to 580. And guess what? You know what happens to your credit card debt? All of a sudden, your interest on your credit card debt goes from, say, 14.9 to 24.9 because of that credit downgrade. Same thing with the U.S. credit rating. And there's 3 credit rating agencies. And this was the very last of the credit rating agencies to downgrade U.S. sovereign debt. So now, with our credit rating downgrade, look, I'm telling you, it's, with the U.S. dollar slipping, with the Sell America trade, with the U.S. credit rating downgrade, because, keep in mind, Japanese and all these other countries, Japan and the Japanese, were the biggest buyers of U.S. treasuries. They don't want to buy treasuries now with our credit rating downgrade, with the U.S. dollar slipping, with our probably coming up on $37 trillion, because we're accumulating $1 trillion in debt every 100 days. Every 100 days, our debt's going up $1 trillion. $1 trillion. And have you ever seen an image of $1 trillion?
It's amazing. And when you
staggering the difference between a billion,
a billion seconds, and all this stuff, it's just so much money. And we say these figures, and people just don't think about it
at all.
And a few things with the economy. Dave Ramsey had said, you need to understand that interest rates for your home today at 7%, 7+%. If you get a mortgage under 7%, you're one of the lucky ones, is what he said. And that at the end of the year, you're going to see interest rates at the same rate as it is right now. So even with this big cut, guys, that everybody's praying for, you're not going to see 2% mortgages again. You're not going to see
that. You think banks want to make less?
Yeah, well, but you
right?
Also, the whole thing with this is that you look at the layoffs, you look at everything that's happening in the economy right now, and this just points to gold going up, silver going up. And again, if you guys don't want to buy gold, look at silver. But the best place to look at it, guys, is Patriot Gold Group. Call them today. And, I'm not just a spokesman. I'm a client of theirs, and I love the company. The customer service is amazing. They've done over $1 billion in sales, transactions, whatever you want to call it. And it's amazing.
Well, and the whole thing is, it's not even like it's a sales pitch. I mean, this is almost like a PSA, like I said earlier. This is like a PSA because we've been doing this now for 2 years. So really, all you have to go by is the 2 years of videos that we've been shooting, telling your viewers to get into gold. And it's gone from, in the 2 years we've been working together, $1,800 to $3,500. So it's doubled.
Yeah.
Silver, by the way, has gone from 22 to 37. Silver is sitting at a 13-year high right now.
Oh, it's great.
The all-time high was set back in 1980, $50 an ounce, adjusted for inflation. That's $125 to $150 an ounce. So what we're telling you now is we don't want to be shooting videos 2 years from now
and saying, wow, it's 7,000 is going to go to 10.
Silver is at $125 an ounce. Do you remember when we were shooting that video and it was $36 an ounce? I'll tell you, if you do have a 401k or an IRA and you have, say, a 3 to 5 year runway, silver right now, when you're looking at forecasts of $125 an ounce and you can get into silver at 36.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because one thing we haven't even mentioned on this video, you have Goldman Sachs and Vanguard both forecasting paltry returns in the stock market over the next decade.
Right.
Over the next decade.
It's just going to
paltry returns.
A lost decade is what they say.
A lost decade. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, it's an opportunity. We have the no fee for life IRA, consumer affairs top rated. The only company nationwide where you, the client, work directly with an owner. The only one.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, guys, take a look at Patriot Gold today. Please, 888-330-1431. The link will be below. If you do not want to call, use the link below. They will send out a free investor guide. They will answer all your questions. The customer service is absolutely amazing. But guys, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. You know, it's just all the questions, everything that you guys send me, and then, bring Jack back. What's he think about gold? You know, where does he think it's going to go? I mean, guys, it's gone up. I mean, you know, since election day, since inauguration, we've just seen gold take off, you know, so.
Because gold and silver are a global asset, right? There's no political affiliation. There's no counterparty risk. So ask yourself, since Trump has taken office globally, has the level of uncertainty increased? And that's right. That's yes. Really, and not only that, but are other companies practicing protectionist, type,
And I'll close it out with what Widmer said, and that was from Bank of America, that take the global uncertainty and put it over here. That's bad. That will affect the price of metals. But also, it's the economy itself has got problems that you're going to have challenges, and you're going to see metals increase dramatically.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Great. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Remember, you can email me, hello@iallegedly.com. And if you ever want to send Jack questions, he loves answering those, and I love sending those back to you guys. So reach out anytime. But thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you.
Always.
You bet.